So this here is a print that I sent away from the Rush website. I had won these tickets from Q107. It's a group of musicians. They still do it today, called Classic Albums Live, and they recreate records note for note. And this was at Massey Hall, and I wanted to get this and frame it because it was a show all about the record 2112, and I won the tickets from Q, so that was cool. This here is a very special piece. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I was fortunate to see Tom in July of 2017 at the Air Canada Centre with my good friend, and unfortunately Tom later passed away that October. So getting in to see Tom for under $140, and I picked up this neat print at the show, so I'm very glad to have this in my possession. Big fan of Tom. This here is it is the largest show I've ever seen. It was at the Rogers Centre, and we were really up high. It was with my son, and they opened the roof, and it was an amazing, mind-blowing performance. What a show. Huge show at the Rogers Centre. This here print is an extra special one. This is a print that I had got done for me. It's quite large. My son had attended this show. It's the Tragically Hip Fully Completely anniversary show at the Air Canada Centre. That's what the ticket's from. And the prints are from a set, the Tragically Hip anniversary Fully Completely set that came out a couple of years before that. Cameron had gave me that set as a gift, and these lithograms were inside of it, loose. So I decided, hey, let's get these. I'm going to get the mounted with the ticket when we saw the anniversary show back at the ACC for the Fully Completely album, and it turned out pretty good. One of them's starting to slip, a couple of them actually, but because of the way that he artistically placed them, I think it still looks cool. And it's pretty neat looking large set. All right, into my other room, and I have even more. So this one here is Ryan Adams. I took Cameron to Massey Hall to see Ryan Adams. The tickets were called Obstructed View, but guess what? They weren't that bad. The show was different because Ryan Adams puts on some unique shows, but he's a great singer-songwriter, and I was happy to see him with my son. That was pretty cool. Anytime to be at Massey Hall is always special. This next one is the Smashing Pumpkins. I had been a big fan for a long time. Never saw the Pumpkins, so a friend of mine and I went to see the Pumpkins finally at the ACC, and it was a very, very long show. They left no song unturned. They played a long time. That was a pretty cool show to finally see the Pumpkins live. So I picked up this poster. It's a pretty cool print. It's pretty large in this frame. This one here is a really cool print. That's why I picked it up, of course, but it marks a pretty cool occasion with a friend of mine that I used to go to a lot of shows with, and we saw Our Lady Peace and Matthew Good, two favorites of mine that I hadn't seen yet, and we saw them right here in our local area at the Oshawa Tribute Community Center, and a pretty cool spot to see some iconic Canadian bands like this. I just love this poster. The print is really cool. Great coloring. This one here is Depeche Mode. I've seen Depeche Mode 3 times. A long time ago, back in the day at Skydome, and then twice actually on this album concert tour, basically a year in between, really. And this print is something I bought when I was with Cameron at the big show. And then when they came back around, I took care of because I'm such a big fan of Depeche Mode. And yeah, this is the most expensive ticket on my wall, just under $200, if you can believe all these different shows. Yeah, nowadays it's regular to pay big prices, so I'm picky about shows these days, but glad to have spent some money on framing and putting time into some of these memorable shows. Speaking of memorable shows, the last couple here on these walls to show you is the Tragically Hip. So the Tragically Hip Man Machine poem. This is a very special show and tour. This was the tour as we all braced to say goodbye to Gord Downie when we heard he was ill. And, you know, a lot of effort was being put into trying to get tickets. I was very distraught, being a big Hip fan, couldn't get tickets. And then because of the pressure they were facing to get people in, they decided to do 3 shows in Toronto. And this is from the first of those 3 nights, last nights in Toronto on that final tour. They released some tickets rear view behind the stage, and I just had to be there with my son, took Cameron. I was nervous, rear view, never done that before. I'll tell you what, if you ever are itching to see a favorite artist, band, and don't even stop to worry about it, because this was extra special. We were really close to the stage, and what was cool was to watch from behind the band the entire crowd facing the stage and reacting to Gord. And it was a very special, memorable concert, and glad to have this poster. It's very cool. It's probably my favorite poster that I have. And another real favorite poster is this one here. I'll try to get away from the window so we don't have the glare. There we go. And this is Black Sabbath at Molson Canadian Amphitheatre. That's what it was once called, Budweiser Stage now. And we had great seats. A good friend of mine went with me, and this was the very final Canadian Toronto show for Black Sabbath. And it was Geezer Butler, Tony Iommi, and Ozzy with Tommy Kaflides on drums. Ozzy was on fire. Actually, they all were, but Ozzy was just mind-blowing. You know, he was like, what, 67 years old at this time, but it didn't matter. He owned it, and it was great. And this is, you know, look at that poster. It was a pretty cool poster, so I got this, and I thought the framing went really well with the coloring, so it's real cool. And then the last one I wanted to show you guys is a poster that I ordered from the long-time running Tragically Hip special set. It's quite large. I don't know if, so there's the door frame. You can see it's quite large. And there is a ticket attached to this. It's on the back in an envelope. My framer fellow decided to be artistic and not put it on the front, which I wish he would have, but it's a ticket from 2009 when Cameron was 13 and I took him to see the Tragically Hip and at Massey Hall, and we paid a little bit extra money to be like 4 rows from the stage, and it was pretty cool. This poster I really like. The coloring's amazing. It's a there's a cool story to why there's a giant air balloon in the poster. Fella had written a pretty cool note in this collection about how, despite what they all went through and the end of a band, that the Tragically Hip rode this cool air balloon down to the ground and landed this rock band properly at the end. It's kind of a neat story. You can look it up. And yeah, that's my stuff. Thanks a lot for checking it out with me. My next video I'm going to do is going to pull out my ticket stubs and talk a little bit about the bands that I have ticket stubs for still, and the shows that went with them. So thanks for checking in, and thanks for spending some time with me. Take care. All the best. Like and subscribe. Bye.